Now, I've been on this planet a lot longer than some of you, and I've seen this guy go by many a name. Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, one time it was Love, just Love. And, well, now he's going by the name PDF, or Wacko Crazy Baby Oil Parties, I don't know. Don't read the memes, children, avert your eyes. Whatever name he used, the man was untouchable. We're talking a billionaire, a mogul, a self-made legend. He once upon a time changed fashion. He launched the likes of Biggie. He owned vodka brands. He mentored Justin Bieber. He threw $1 million parties with the likes of Kanye and Jay-Z. And then suddenly he disappeared. Well, now P. Diddy is facing some serious charges. And these are like the darkest, most disturbing accusations the entertainment industry has ever seen. And what's worse, well, even his own lawyer said he couldn't defend him. This is the rise of the powerful and explosive downfall of none other than P. Diddy. I remember when Before They Were Famous was at its prime, every video at least 500,000 views, and I did P. Diddy on a whim. Now, usually there would be celebrations thrown by the likes of the next new rapper, but with P. Diddy, it was crickets. And now I know. He was watching it like, what did you find? And thankfully, at the time, I found nothing, but I carried on. And now, here we are. All right, let's get into this video. Chapter 1. How Diddy became hip-hop royalty. It started unexpectedly in Mount Vernon, New York. Now, Sean Combs, he lost his father to gun violence at the age of just 2, and that loss, well, it kind of defined him. Now, by the 90s, he was interning at Uptown Records, and he quickly became a rising star. But when he was fired in 1993, well, Diddy, he didn't fold. He founded Bad Boy Records, and he launched the notorious B.I.G. Now, it was Diddy who styled Biggie, and Diddy, well, he would push for Juicy, which, if you don't know, was the song of the 90s. So behind the curtain, it was Diddy who gave East Coast rap its comeback. And for those of you who never knew, well, the reason they called him Diddy was because Biggie was like King Kong, and they named Puff Daddy after Diddy Kong. Now you know. When Biggie was murdered in 1997, well, Diddy dropped No Way Out, including the track I'll Be Missing You. And it became one of the best-selling rap albums of all time, even though Sting, he makes a cool $1 million or $3 million every year off of royalties for the sample. Still, it was a turning point for hip-hop. And in that moment, well, it was Puff Daddy's grief which turned into gold and made him a very famous and very wealthy entertainer. Chapter 2. Mogul Mode, the Diddy Business Empire. Now, over the next 15 years, well, Diddy, he did what no other rapper could. He became a brand empire. There was Sean John Clothing with $500 million in annual sales. There was Ciroc Vodka, a 50-50 deal that made him richer than almost any rapper alive. There was Revolt, his own media network, and most surprisingly, his hands on Justin Bieber. I didn't mean to make that sound inappropriate, although it was kind of starting to seem like it was. I don't know. In 2009, well, Diddy, he took a teenage Bieber under his wing, helping shape his early image and giving him major cosigns in the industry. Now, Diddy was everywhere. We're talking Grammy stages with Jay-Z, Sunday brunch with Kanye. He was even popping up in Hollywood films alongside Russell Brand, Get Him to the Greek. And Sergio, the character he played in that, I'm starting to think that was more like the real-life Sean Combs than ever we'd seen before. Now, Forbes, they began calling him hip-hop's first billionaire. But behind closed doors, well, the stories were starting to pile up. Chapter 3, the allegations start pouring in. Now, the first whispers, they weren't new. We're talking artists like Mace and the Lox. They had long said Diddy exploited them with unfair contracts. Now, former assistants, they described a culture of fear. Also, I gotta point out there, Dave Chappelle, he was roasting Diddy and getting people to go get him some kind of drink down the street way before anyone else knew what was really going on behind the scenes. Just wanted to include that one there. But in late 2023, the dam finally broke. Casey, Diddy's ex-girlfriend of 10 years, well, she filed a bombshell lawsuit. She accused him of physical assault, sexual coercion, forcing her into freak-off parties with male escorts, and filming it all so he would have leverage. Now, within 24 hours, well, Diddy, he settled, but the silence, it didn't stop the noise. Now, it triggered a wave of lawsuits from other women with eerily similar stories. We're talking drugs, violence, control, and that's when the feds got involved. Unless you're Jake Paul, when the feds come and knocking on your door, it likely means the end. Although Jake Paul, whatever happened with him? Remember that? Chapter 4, the raids, the evidence, and the lawyer who quit. In March of 2025, the FBI, they raided both of Diddy's homes. We're talking LA and Miami, and they did it at the exact same time. Well, in there, they found safes, they found devices, and according to reports, over 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Doesn't take a genius to say, you only need one or two. Who needs thousands? There were also party-related substances, if you catch my drift. Now, multiple alleged victims, they described those homes as trap locations for celebrity freak-off parties involving cameras, drugs, and coercion. Now, the federal charges, they came quick and ugly. Sex trafficking, racketeering, obstruction, and again, assault. Now, I guess with Hugh Hefner out of the picture, someone's got to throw the wild parties in LA, but I don't know. Bad boy for life now really rings true. Now, things got so bad that Diddy, well, his own high-profile lawyer, Ben Brafman, well, he publicly stated he couldn't continue defending the case, and he quit, implying, well, it was indefensible. Now, at this point, well, Diddy, he wasn't facing cancel culture. He was staring down the barrel of a life spent in prison. He was becoming the black version of Jeffrey. Can't say his name. YouTube will demonetize me. Chapter 5, the silence of the industry. Now, once Diddy was everywhere, well, like I mentioned in my intro about what I've experienced, well, all of a sudden we were hearing crickets. Jay-Z, he was silent. Kanye, he posted a free puff campaign that backfired instantly. For more on that, check out our recent video on Ye. We've dropped it or it's coming soon. Justin Bieber, he denied ever being abused. He distanced himself, but then he had his own very public meltdown. We made a video on that. There were brands like Ciroc, Apple Music, and Adidas who all pulled their partnerships. Revolt, it's barely staying afloat. And former employees, they're flipping. They're offering testimony to federal investigators. Now, this isn't about one bad headline. It's about decades of fear finally catching up. The industry that once protected itself, well, it's pressed the delete button on Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Sean Combs, Brother Love, whatever the hell you want to call him. Chapter 6, so what happens now? Now, Diddy's trial, it began in the summer of 2025, and it is currently ongoing. It's hard to keep up with the headlines, but the stuff that's hitting the press is not pretty. It's all taking place in New York, and if convicted, well, he could face life in prison. Now, he's been accused by multiple women. Some lawsuits, they are civil, others federal. The FBI has been building this case for over a year, but even if he walks free, his legend, his legacy, it's certainly broken. I mean, this isn't something you can come back from, right? Not when your empire was built on silence, and now everyone's finally talking. And every conversation seems to include baby oil. It's ludicrous. The final remix. So Sean Combs, he built his life on control. He controlled the charts, he controlled the image, he controlled the narrative. But now, well, he certainly is in control of the outcome. The legacy he spent 30 years building is on trial. This is the remix no one saw coming. And no matter how it ends, well, there's no sting sample that he can add to this to change the flavor, the bad taste in your mouth, and get off with this one this time. So the question still remains, who was Diddy? Like, really? Seriously. I mean, was he involved in Biggie's The Unthinkable? Maybe, And for that, well, that will be discussed in a future video. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. My name, of course, is Michael McCrudden. Feels good to be back. My hair is a little lopsided because, well, my basement flooded and I didn't have time to get a haircut. Still, if you want to help me out so I can do that, you should pick up some merch at beforetheyarefamous.com. You can also hit the bell, subscribe to the channel, and you can follow me on Instagram, Michael McCrudden BTWF. I hope you enjoyed this video. We're dropping new ones each and every week, and I'll be sure to see you guys in another video.